What if I told you the US dollar's global power didn't come from hard work, productivity, or innovation, but from oil? For 50 years, the world has run on a system most people never even heard of: the petrodollar. It's the hidden engine behind America's wealth, power, and dominance. But here's the thing: that engine just stopped. The collapse of the petrodollar isn't some theory. It's happening right now. And by the time the average person realizes what's going on, it'll already be too late to prepare. So today, let's unpack what the petrodollar actually is, how it gave America control over the global economy, and why its unraveling could change everything, from the value of your savings to the cost of your groceries. And before we dive in, if you find value in learning how these global shifts affect ordinary people like you and me, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to understand what's coming. It helps more than you know. To understand the collapse, we first need to understand how this all started. The year was 1971. Richard Nixon ended the gold standard, meaning the US dollar was no longer backed by gold. Overnight, the dollar became just paper, valuable only because people believed it was. Naturally, the world started to panic. Why hold dollars if they weren't tied to anything real? Then came Henry Kissinger. In 1974, he struck a secretive deal with Saudi Arabia, the world's biggest oil producer. The arrangement was simple but genius. Saudi Arabia would sell its oil only in US dollars. In exchange, the US would protect the kingdom militarily. Soon, other OPEC nations followed. So, if you wanted oil, the lifeblood of modern civilization, you first needed US dollars. That's how demand for the dollar became artificially global. Even if you lived in France, India, or Japan, you needed dollars. And just like that, America found the ultimate cheat code: it could print wealth. The US could run huge trade deficits, spend far more than it earned, and yet other nations would happily hold and recycle those dollars back into US bonds. It was financial magic, and it powered an empire. But magic tricks don't last forever. Fast forward to the 2020s, the petrodollar system is falling apart. Quietly, without fanfare, the foundation is being removed brick by brick. In 2023, Saudi Arabia let its decades-long dollar-only oil deal expire. Almost nobody talked about it. But that moment might be remembered as the beginning of the end for US dollar supremacy. Since then, Riyadh has started selling oil to China in yuan, to India in rupees, and to Russia in ruble-based trade deals. The country even joined BRICS, the economic bloc openly challenging the US-led financial system. Let's look at the numbers. In the year 2000, around 73% of the world's reserves were held in US dollars. By 2020, that dropped to 59%. In 2024, below 55%. That's not a dip, that's a collapse in confidence. China has sold hundreds of billions of US Treasury bonds. Russia ditched the dollar entirely and piled into gold. Even traditional US allies like France and India are cutting their exposure. The world is diversifying. That's because they see the same thing the rest of us should see. The dollar's strength was never about value. It was about control. And that control is slipping away. Now, here's where it gets personal. When the demand for dollars drops globally, all those dollars printed over the years don't just disappear, they come home. And when that happens, inflation explodes. We already got a taste of that in 2021-2023, but that was mild. The next wave could be something we haven't seen since the Great Depression, or even the collapse of empires past. Imports, things like fuel, electronics, and medicine, become dramatically more expensive. Savings evaporate as prices rise faster than paychecks. And the government's usual tools, like raising interest rates, stop working because the debt burden is too high. Meanwhile, the smart money has already left the room. Billionaires and central banks are buying hard assets: gold, land, food, energy, and even Bitcoin. They're not guessing, they're hedging. Because they know paper money dies, but real assets endure. By the way, what do you think about this shift? Do you believe the US can adapt and rebuild trust in the dollar? Or are we witnessing the end of an era? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear how people are reading this moment, especially those who've lived through economic shocks before. Let's zoom out a bit. Every reserve currency in history has followed the same cycle: rise, dominance, and decline. The Spanish silver dollar, the Dutch guilder, the British pound, all once ruled the global economy, and each collapsed under the same weight, debt, overreach, and loss of trust. The US dollar has been dominant since 1944. That's a long run by historical standards. But time and math always win. Here's how collapse typically unfolds. Oil and trade move to other currencies. Nations dump their dollar reserves. Bond markets fall, interest rates rise. The US prints more money to cover debt. Confidence dies. Inflation and political chaos follow. It's not a movie plot. It's the playbook of every failed currency system in history. When confidence in money dies, people lose faith in institutions, governments, even the social order. We're already seeing early symptoms: rising food costs, record debt, political division, and an erosion of trust in leadership. These aren't coincidences. They're the tremors before the quake. History also tells us how governments react when their money system fails. They restrict bank withdrawals. They freeze accounts. They encourage people to buy government bonds with their savings. They impose digital currencies to control spending and track transactions. It sounds extreme, but it's happened before. In Argentina, in Greece, in Cyprus, in Weimar Germany. And in every case, those who saw it coming had a chance to protect themselves. That's where awareness matters most, because once the system admits it's collapsing, it's already too late to escape the trap. So what can ordinary people do? First, understand the reality. This isn't fear-mongering, and it's financial history repeating itself. Diversify your assets. Don't rely solely on paper promises. Hold things with intrinsic value: land, gold, food, skills, and community. Reduce unnecessary debt and build flexibility. And perhaps most importantly, build connections. Because when systems fail, people survive through cooperation, not isolation. Even learning basic history helps you see the pattern clearly. Once you recognize how empires rise and fall, today's headlines stop being confusing and they start being predictable. We're not heading for a single replacement like the euro or yuan taking over. Instead, we're moving into a multipolar world. Several currencies, regional trade systems, and digital tokens coexisting. That world will be more volatile, more political, and less predictable. Exchange rates will swing, trade will shrink, and nations will compete fiercely for trust. The dollar's dominance gave stability to the global system. Its collapse will remove that anchor. It's not the end of the world, but it is the end of an era. The petrodollar was never meant to last forever. It was a clever invention, a temporary bridge between the gold-backed world of the past and the fiat chaos of today. For half a century, it gave America unmatched privileges, printing money and exporting inflation while the world looked the other way. But every empire ends the same way, with debt, denial, and decay. We're living through that turning point right now, and while we can't stop it, we can understand it. We can prepare, adapt, and rebuild, smarter and more self-reliant than before. History doesn't repeat, it rhymes, and the rhyme we're hearing today sounds eerily familiar. So if you've made it this far, thank you. Your awareness is your greatest defense in uncertain times. And before you go, please like this video, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. We'll keep unpacking these hidden shifts shaping our world, one truth at a time. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay grounded, and take care of yourself and your family.